You know that marketing is a huge topic, but following what we have seen weeks ago, we will focus on explaining how this brand manipulates us. And also the way I prefer is to explain the main differences between standard and luxury tactics. Okay, so let's start. You know, all is about the psychological manipulation because marketing or brands bombard us with all the ads, all the promos, everything just to push us to buy more. So let's focus on the main differences. As you see, here we will talk about the standard brands and luxury brands tactics. And the main difference is that the standard brands focus on volume, where luxury brands on exclusivity. You will see that everything that we will discuss or we will see in this presentation related to these 2 points: exclusivity for luxury and volume for standard brands. Let's check it out. For example, here we have we will highlight just some of the tactics because there are many tactics. Okay. Here we have impulsive trigger. As we see here, we will I forget to mention this, that in our presentation we will illustrate our information with stats and example to clarify and to unveil the hidden strings behind this. For example, here we have impulsive triggers. As example, we have Shein. Shein's 10 viewers looking now, alerts, spike purchase by 220%. Other thing, we have subscription traps. 58% of millennials have more than 3 forgotten auto renewal. That means when we forget to cancel our subscription, this is what happened to us. We waste yearly more than $300. For luxury brands, we have artificial scarcity, or what we call it also fake scarcity. Rolex produces 1 million unit watches a year, but keeps us under stock. And also we have VIP gaslighting. This is a huge term or a huge word. We will keep it at the end to explain it if you want. So instead to say VIP, we use VIC in this case, because VIP is a very important person, but VIC is very important clients, because here, not only we need to be important person, but important client. Look at channel, requires more than $100K spent for invitation only collection access. So if you want to access to their collection, you need to spend more than $100K. It's insane. Look what's coming after. For FOMO, as we have seen, or we saw FOMO before, but here we explain it differently. For standard brands, for like Booking.com's only 2 rooms left or only 3 rooms left, 68% conversion boost despite fake scarcity. For luxury, Tiffany takes VIPs when they pass Cartier stores. That means I'm a customer. I'm Tiffany's customer. So when I pass close Cartier store, Tiffany will text me to show like there is a good deal or something new in their store, just to push me to go to Chanel instead of Cartier. Here we have what we call the emotional hijacking. For standard, like Dove's Real Beauty campaign, increased its sales 24% by exploiting insecurities. here we talk about, because they care about emotion, but especially women beauty, women body. For luxury, here we have Hermes sale. This, I found it like insane, you know. Hermes sells $450 porcelain plates, you know, to what? To unlock Berkane purchase eligibility. So talking about Berkane is, you know, Berkane bag of Hermes brand is the most expensive bag in the world. It costs at least $10,000 for small Birkin bag. So if you want to order it, if you want to be eligible to order it, you need at least to spend $20,000 in other Hermes products. Okay, here we are, the trade mill mechanism. So how it works? By creating urgency. You know, Zara adds online exclusive labels to in-store items. So in-store items, we find online exclusive. Also, so same for Nike launches members exclusive sneakers drop via its app, locking 160 million users into constant check-ins for early access. This is what? The goal is to, first, is to give or to create the exclusivity, or the you are important, or the product is important or is inclusive, is in online store, but you can find it in store, like offline store, you know. And the second is that to push people to have the app. In that way they will be all time linked with the brand. So what we call the cross channel or the multi-channel. So the brands care to use multi-channels. That means you need to choose to go to offline, to go to app, to online, to magazines, every channel, social media, and so on. For Louis Vuitton releases collaboration capsule available only to top tier clients for 72 hours to create urgency. So let's see what's next. Like for receipt satisfaction, you know, when we buy something, over the time we feel that the satisfaction is slowing down. So for iPhone throttling via updates. So they use updates to what? To implement in some softwares to slow down your iPhone, your battery, or to cause some crashes, you know, or crashes, sorry. But that Apple paid $500 million settlement lawsuits to compensate the customers. Look at the Balenciaga. It's weird, you know. Balenciaga deliberately designs 1,290 destroyed sneakers to deteriorate faster. I buy something to deteriorate faster. That's insane. For pushing repeat buy. So that's the goal. What next? For manufacture new needs. You know that Zara, every 2 weeks there are new arrivals, but for H&M, weekly new arrivals. But what is mind-blowing is that Shein stores, you know, website store, every day 6,000 new items. Just to we can say that it's faster than our brain process recognition, what we call it. Yeah. The Gucci market, 1,800 interactive belts. You know, they use belts with NFC. You use technology in the belts. Chip, yeah, they put a chip that expires after 2 seasons. This is what we call the the planned obsolescence. Yeah, that's the word. But who pays the cost? of course, humans and the planetary cost. Let's check it out. For customer cost, let's talk about the financial. Here we have 45% of Gen Z has credit card debt from impulse buys. Garment workers in Bangladesh earn 0.13 to 0.27 hour per hour versus 1.25 living wage. Look at that, there is no balance. And Cartier's 5,000 bracelets are polished by Indian artisans earning how much? $2 a day. Psychological, oh my God. 68% sorry, of luxury buyers feel post-purchase guilt. So why should I purchase something which is too much expensive and after that I feel guilt? Okay, but this is shocking. 18% of workers are women aged between 18 to 24 years old, often sexually harassed. Human rights, you know. Don't spend in retail therapy for climate anxiety rose 300% since 2022. Okay, what about environmental costs? That's a big disaster. Look at this. The fast fashion, 92 million tons of clothes trashed yearly. That means one garbage truck a second. Can you imagine that? And always talking about fast fashion, produces 8 to 10% of global carbon emissions, more than aviation plus shipping combined. And luxury, 38% of leather goods never sold, burned to avoid discounts. A single Hermes Berkane bag, what we talked about before, production emits, imagine that for a single Berkane bag, it emits 300 kilograms CO2, equivalent to driving 750 miles. Look at the last one, 2,700 liters of water, which is 3 years, 1% to make one cotton t-shirt. My goodness. So who earns? Of course, brand profits. LVMH, which is Louis Vuitton conglomerates, because LVMH is not only Louis Vuitton, it's a Louis Vuitton and company. It includes more than 75 high-end brands like Dior, Givenchy, Tag Heuer, Celine, and so on, you know. So the list is too long. So Louis Vuitton, MH, $14 billion profits in 2023, with 42% margin on products marketed as scarcity. Okay, maybe you will ask the same question, or most of you will ask this question: how to set it up? Easy. You know, for digital detox, delete retail apps, disable it or delete it. It will reduce impulse buys by 41%. Wait 72 hours. I know that I said last time 24 hours to make your decision, but that was for another context. But here we talk about nudge theory. Nudge theory is another topic, okay? So it's not about elementary goods. So if you wait 72 hours, so 60% of wants become don't needs after 3 days. Spot luxury lives. If a brand produces more than 10K units a year, it's not limited. isn't it? Okay. So to conclude this, so the 12 trillion, look at this number, $12 trillion global advertising industry spends $34 per person daily to keep you consuming. So here is the word. Your attention is the product. Spend it wisely. Thank you. The stage is yours.
Okay, so firstly, thank you, Mr. Amine, for this presentation. Now, as you know, we will move to some questions, and I would like to start just before before everyone gets motivated to ask.
Online question. If there's some online, I'm gonna try to find it. Okay. Yeah.
So,
Yes. Just use your phone.
to that.
Yeah, you're connected.
Here, I don't see. Where is it? Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so so you said that there are some solutions in order to we can say get rid of that problem. But as we know, there's this word of fashion, and the fashion is something that comes and goes, and that's the problem here. It is that this fashion comes and goes. So do you really think that we can get rid of people buying the thing that is represented as a fashion or as something that is needed from everywhere and from everyone?
Mr. Amine, can you turn on your?
Yeah, also the camera. Is it okay now? Okay. Oh, okay, thank you. So, can you please repeat your question?
Okay, so I said that you talked about some solutions in order to get rid of the problem of over-consuming. But the thing is that there is that word of fashion, and the fashion is, as I said, it is something that comes and goes. So people are always motivated in order to buy these things. Whatever you do, whatever you tell them, and that's the problem. So do you really think that these solutions are really efficient, knowing that we face that problem of fashion that will never go, that will never disappear?
You know, you know that we live in the world of capitalism, so it will never end. It will be like a war between the big brands and consumers, you know. But we have it in between or in our hands. It's all about the neuroscience. They use neuroscience. They use how we call it NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. They use all the tools to keep up over consume. You know, but if we follow these steps of this solution, of course, we will reduce. I'm not saying that we will cancel it or we will delete it or we will, we will just reduce. So time by time, we will figure out that these brands, they are just manipulating us. You know, as we said just before that, for consumer cost, even the luxury buyers feel post-purchase guilt. You know, so I think that over the time they will realize that they will not follow what we heard the herd. You know, the herd is like a group of animals. You know, guided by what we call it, the shepherd, you know. So we need to be aware about this. That's all.
Okay, thank you. So thank you for your intervention. So now we will move to the other questions for the audience, surely. So thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So there is a question from Canada. So let's travel to Canada.
Hi.
Hi,
Okay, can
Canada.
you hear me? It's good?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so first, thank you for your presentation because I feel like this topic is really interesting and it always triggers me whenever we're talking about marketing and all of the brands and how everyone like kind of tries to manage their own strategy. But for my part, I kind of find it really fascinating in how emotional branding today, it's deeply tied to the visual storytelling and skill. For example, we talked earlier about Hermes. If we take like luxury brands like Hermes, whatever. So people aren't just buying a product, they're buying into legacy, a sense of exclusivity, a social identity kind of. So we kind of always tend to get this emotional connection because it's what really drives desire in a certain way. But what's also catching my attention, I've been seeing this on LinkedIn everywhere. It's the shift towards the oversized marketing. We're seeing more brands like Jacquemus with their giant handbags and surreal outdoors campaigns. For example, recently, I think it was in Times Square, there was Rode using large scale visuals as well and props to make their products maybe feel more kind of iconic. So even in pop-ups or product packaging, everything's becoming so bold, exaggerated, and kind of impossible to ignore. So it seems like people are more drawn to this kind of marketing because it breaks the scroll, it triggers a sense of aspiration or maybe curiosity. And minimalism doesn't create that same emotional buzz anymore. We're not looking at these small miniatures, we're not looking at the small stuff anymore. And so, yeah, with that being said, do you think that this rise of the bigger is maybe the better marketing kind of strategy is making consumers more emotionally hooked, or is it just another manipulation technique in maybe an already overstimulated market? But also, how is it impacting the brands that aren't going through the same strategy? For example, Zara, even now Zara is still raising the prices so high and it's still going above the average. So yeah, how do you think it is impacting like the other small brands? And is this bigger, the better is still, how is it just catching our eyes and how is it manipulating us in this market nowadays?
Yeah, yeah. So as I said before, they are using the neuroscience. If we can like talk about some, we can like talk about the NLP. The neuro linguistic programming, which is they use mostly our what we call it sensorial marketing, which is like VACOG. VACOG is like V for visual, A for auditory, K for kinesthetic or kinesthetic, O for olfactory, and J for gustatory. But most of this kind of marketing, they use the three top ones. The V, the visual, as you said, we can see it everywhere. They use very like huge image with high quality. For kinesthetic, they use the good packaging, even the tissue or even so everything so related to this. So they what we call it, and they focus on our representation system. Representation system is what is our sensory dominance. Like, so everyone, it has his own sensory which is dominant. Like for me, I can say my visual. So they will use for they customize everything related to every customer. So if he is visual, they will use more like shapes, images, and if he's auditory, they will use sounds. So all this is related to the neuron, science. So this is how they manipulate us. But for Zara and others, they use this kind, but they focus more on volume, so they cannot use the same strategy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for your intervention.
So hello, Mike or no?
No, no, it's
Uh,
okay.
so so hello, Mr. Amin. I loved your presentation. Thank you so much for giving us a general idea about and a detailed one about the presentation. So my first question is um how do societal expectations around fashion and luxury influence consumer behavior? This is the second question. And can these norms shift toward valuing ethical consumption without losing desirability?
Sorry, the second question, I didn't hear it clearly. Sorry.
Can these norms shift to, for people who buy more? Can these norms shift toward valuing ethical consumption without losing desirability? We can see many customers want to buy more, so how can we shift this consumption into something that is more beneficial for our environment?
Okay, so first we need to, as I said, this is a war that we need to. We are part of this battlefield, you know. We are bombarded by many like pop-up advertising and everything. So if we need to shift from this to that, we need to focus on our real needs, you know, so things that we really need. As we said that before we put our decision making, or before we make our decision, we need like to wait. I'm not talking about the elementary goods, you know. I'm talking about the fashion, you know. As you said, we need to wait, you know, to make like a standby, or to, as I said, 72 hours. It will reduce our decision to more than 60%, which is very interesting to help us to avoid this kind of behavior, you know. Have I missed a question?
Uh,
Yeah.
so you so you missed the first one. How do societal expectations around fashion and luxury influence consumer behavior?
So if you can explain more, your, because the question is too large.
So we know all of us, like in Eid, we're going to go buy and we're
Yeah,
going to overspend our
yeah,
money. So we're going to have societal expectations.
yeah.
Can we say that society has an effect on our decisions?
Yeah, of course, because there is seasons, you know. So every season, so they push us to buy things related to that season. So everything is related to that, you know. So yes, yes, that's true. Uh, so the question is, always is, what do we really buy what we really need, you know. So as we saw in our presentation, for Sheins, so they release 6,000 items daily. So do we need 6,000 daily, you know? But you know, at the end of the year, they trash 60% of this. So you imagine, it's insane. But the impact is not only society, but environment, and it causes poverty, you know?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I don't.
Well, hello, Mr. Amine. Do you hear me?
Well, yes, I hear you.
Sorry. Okay. So I just want to thank you for your presentation. It was really great. Actually, I don't have a question, but I just want to give my opinion. I might be subjective or objective, but this is how I feel. I mean, if you look at it, look to marketing. Marketing basically is just to provide a value for the customers. So if you solve a problem for them, they're gonna buy something from you. But and that's what actually what we see in Nike. Nike doesn't post in her ads that my shoes are the best. No, they honor great athletics because that's what they're like. That's their core values. So basically, if a customer sees something in you and you solve a problem for them, they're gonna come to you and buy something from you. So I think this idea of manipulation might be true, might not, but I think it all comes down to solving a problem. That's all I just wanted to say.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. That was interesting.
So
Yeah.
hello, Mr. Amine. How are you? I hope that you're doing well. So first of all, I want to thank you so much for your insightful presentation. It was so enriching. I think that before everything, it was an opportunity for us in order to combine data we got in documentary, and of course, it was so helpful, specifically when it comes to asking purposeful questions. So I have a small question, but okay, so it concerns like the restrictions, and I don't know because as you know, the profit of, or let's say the reason behind adopting this strategy is always about profit maximization. So of course you stated a lot of examples when it comes to fake scarcity. I mean, like when brands are trying to limit the editions in order to grab consumers attention. We spoke also about psychological tricks. We are also speaking about treadmill, and we are speaking about other strategies that sometimes that may potentially impact consumers. And speaking about this case, like when the strategies can have, I mean, a ripple effect, a negative effect. I am wondering if there is not like some restrictions that will limit this effect, maybe specifically when noticing that these strategies are predominant in our lives. Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. So as you said, I would take the Apple as example. Yes, there's restrictions. For example, when how to say, when Apple release updates, they like implement there some software, to what, to slow down your phone, to push you to buy another one. So yes, there is a restriction because there was a lawsuit after that, and Apple paid $500 million to compensate consumer for their batteries. So yes, there is restriction, but you know that the brands use many tactics to avoid it, to skip it. So that is. But if anyone can figure out that there is a kind of manipulation, because we cannot force consumers or individuals to buy things. This is what we call it like nudge theory or nudge marketing. So just to push you to buy things by beautifully, elegantly, and consciously, This is the way they do. I cannot say that it doesn't exist, but exists. But the lawyers or the law is not clear about it, so you can avoid it only if there is like prejudice, biases. That's the way you can like suit them. You know.
Okay, so thanks a lot. I really appreciate your answer.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry for the intervention. So I want to ask Miss Shayma from Rabat to join us. Miss Shayma, the floor is yours.
Thank you, teacher. So, firstly, I want to thank Mr. Amine for your fruitful presentation. Personally, I think that the majority of adults are aware of the consequences of overspending or buying just for the sake of buying. However, when we talk about teenagers who often compare themselves to others, how can we convince them to minimize the consumption and not to be on the treadmill of constant buying?
Yeah. You know, this is part of parents. You know, it's a kind of the education or behavior. You know, so it's up to parents to not to control, but to give advices. You know, to give advice, some advice to their children to avoid this, because if we talk about technology, it's not possible only if we can like control their devices, you know, to add block, to delete apps, you know, and so on. So beside that, it's not possible because the brands, you know, they always bombard us with ads. So everywhere where we go, we find everyone is using Facebook, and on Facebook we find million ads, you know, every day. So it's not easy to avoid this way, but with a good education, you know, and to implement in the mindset of our teenage, to which is the real value in their life, you know. So that's the point. Beside that, I don't think it's possible if we can only relate to technology, you know. So it's kind of education. If we talk about teenage, as you said.
First of all, thank you for your good presentation. I really appreciate it. And my question is, how do we prevent overspending in the luxury brands? Thank you.
Yes, we already mentioned it. So the first is that you said you need to delete all the apps, you know. Second, we said that you know about the apps. So it's easy, you know. It reduces impulse buys by 41%. So that way. And second, so especially for luxury brands, which is like more expensive, we need to wait. So I know it's not emotionally is not easy to do it, but we need to wait 72 hours. It will reduce what we want, or to shift from what I want to I don't need, you know. It's easy. But for luxury brands also, we need just to ask this question: if a brand produce many thousand units a year, so it's not limited, because the luxury brands focus on exclusivity, on to make you feel that you are unique, you know, using all their strategy to make you feel that you are in the top of Maslow pyramids, you know. But we need to realize that when it's about many thousand units production a year, that means it's not exclusive. So that's the way. It's kind of it's about mindset, and about as I said, because we here we talk about the gaslighter. You know, they are like gaslighters. So the gaslighting is, as I said, is a huge word, which is psychological manipulation, which means that like a person or a group make someone else feel or reconsider his question or his perception, just to make him like dependent to the manipulator. So the luxury brands or even other brands are manipulators, and the consumers are like dependent to them. So we need to find a way to avoid this. You know, this is the way I think uh, how to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Mr. Oh my God. No.
Hello.
Hello,
Yes.
Mr. Amin. First of all, I just want to thank you for your amazing presentation and the efforts you put to actually explain to us so that we can understand better what the truth behind these luxury brands or their influence is on us. So I just want to talk more about how, of course, these luxury brands have this kind of pull on us, and for example, this pull on us that just makes us it grabs our attention to just either buy or be interested. Just as an example for myself, luxury brands like Versace, like Louis Vuitton, like Alexander McQueen, etc., really grab my attention for their fashion lines and when they actually release something for either different seasons, because right now they are literally trying to design clothes for each season, like not like the old days. We had only 2 seasons. And so, as a person who is, of course, not rich and doesn't have the money to buy these luxury brands, even though I'm still attracted, and there's this pull that is trying to this pull between us that is actually trying to tell me, oh look, we have something new, we have designed something new, and we released something new. Come see it or come buy it. So I just want to point out that these brands actually study the psychological behavior of a human and their triggers when it comes to buying stuff, as in like the desire or satisfaction, etc. And they actually kind of build in an emotional connection when it
Yeah.
comes to their brand, like brand storytelling, which is a very important
Yeah.
thing, and the manipulation that they use for us. And we cannot, of course, forget the promotions, the just the things that really manipulate us, and the power that they have for us to actually buy them in any store or any place. So my question is, how can we stop this influence of these luxury brands that they have on us? And thank you.
Yes, thank you for your question. You know, first we need to know one thing. How much do luxury brands spend on marketing versus actual production? You know that LVMH spends 38% of revenue on marketing versus 15% for mass market. You see the gap. So they put all the budget, so 38% of the budget, just to make you feel in need to be part of their story. As you said, storytelling, you know? For example, You know, a 10,000 Hermes bag costs 4,200 in anti-theft technology and ads. You know, almost half cost just to make you feel in need of that product. You know how much it costs of the raw material? 800 to make it. No, 800 to make it. 4,200 for anti-theft and tech and ads. So the total is 5,000 only, and they sell it at 10,000. So you now you have the image how much they spend just to push you to buy this kind of luxury brand. So here, I think that here is a part of answer of your question. You know that this kind of VIP customers or VIC, their perception is different from us. You know, for them, they always need to feel different, that they are part of the story of success story of a brand, a big brand, or a part of, how to say, a community, a niche, not public, you know. So for them, the perception is different. So their needs is not our needs. So the last thing they think about it is the price, you know, not like us. So the first thing we compare when we need to do the benchmarking, so is the price. Then comes the features. So if you want to avoid it, so we need to think like them.